My name is Annie Frazak with Frazak Solutions, LLC, and today we're going to be visiting milestone number 2, surveying the Tampa Bay. One thing the Tampa Bay area suffers from is a labor shortage and poor wages. As you can see, according to Occupational Outlook Handbook's data, Florida is one of the regions that assumes the lowest salary on an annual basis. We look at about $50,000 to $60,000 is the median for Florida, and this is some of the lowest ranking in the entire nation. To narrow that scope even more, looking at Tampa Bay and the St. Pete area directly, we suffer from a 3.0 to a 3.1% unemployment rate. Again, as you can see according to the key chart, we're one of the lowest ranking in the state. It's certainly not the highest, but it is relatively low. Tampa Bay is about 1.9% away from having the highest unemployment rate in all of Florida. I pulled some data from the Alfred Archival Economic Data Model that's displayed beneath. This carries forward the idea of unemployment that has not really fluctuated much or had much variability throughout 2023 and to current. Between the boom of college graduates, the holiday season, and having the first full COVID-free year in a while should all be external variables that influence this growth. The stagnation is quite threatening, and the ability for it to improve remains unknown. One of the second problems I'd like to present is the environment and water quality. The water quality concern has been a problem in the Tampa Bay area for quite some time. And while we've made scrupulous efforts to continue to improve the water quality, things like sewage spills, microplastics, and other pollutants make their way into the water. As you can see the chart beneath that was pulled from the Tampa Bay government website, things such as nitrogen and phosphorus, sediment, oil and grease, toxic metals, bacteria, trash and debris are all things that have made it into our water system and likely into our bodies. Prior to the urbanization of Tampa, a natural balance occurred in the amount of water and nutrients which are delivered to the bay through storm runoff. As the city has grown, this balance has been shifted with an increase in runoff from impervious surfaces such as rooftops and streets, with a greater concentration of human-derived pollutants. Pollutants picked up in the stormwater in the urban area can have significant impacts on the water quality of the surface waters, such as the Hillsborough River and Tampa Bay. Typically, there is little, if any, stormwater treatment before stormwater flows to a surface water. The next part of this story is where it gets exciting. One of our very own here at USFSP, Kinsley McEacheron, environmental science and policy graduate student, received a major publication recognition in the USF magazine for being the first author of study. She took some samples from the Tampa Bay waters and discovered there are 4 billion particles of microplastics present. It is currently unknown how harmful this particular pollutant is in the ecosystem. What are microplastics? Microplastics are a small, less than 1/8 inch material sourced from larger plastics such as water bottles, plastic bags, synthetic fibers from our clothing, etc. What was also discovered in the line of Kinsley's research was that they will remain in the bay, the Gulf, and the ocean for more than a lifetime. So these impacts could be everlasting, and we don't know how to fix them currently. They think that the heaviest concentration of these microplastics is sourced from the rainfall located nearest to industrial outlets. Although plastic pollution has been an exceptionally large concern for decades now, especially in this region, this is the very first conducted study in the Tampa Bay area that really exemplified this problem. Henry Allegria, who's a USF St. Petersburg Associate Professor of Chemistry and also a part of the Environmental Protection Commission of Hillsborough County, said that management plans are desperately needed to get a hold of this problem and that the future of Tampa region relies on it. The third problem that I'd like to present in the Tampa Bay area is the cost of living. In this particular module, I'd like to focus on the housing costs. The median monthly cost for housing in Pinellas and Hillsborough, both within the Tampa Bay area, are reflective of some of the most expensive areas to live in the Florida State region, ranging between 1.1 and 1.3 million over a 5-year period that was captured. According to governmental websites, the cost of living for food costs have also skyrocketed, especially in the past 2 years, in particular the last 12 months. The Food at Home Index rose 1.3% over the last 12 months. The index for other food at home rose 2.8% over 12 months ending in December. The indexes for things like cereal and bakery products, non-alcoholic beverages, both increased by 2.6%. Things like fruits and veggies rose 0.3%. And then you have dairy and related products, 1.3%. And then there's meat, poultry, fish, eggs, and that actually fell 1%. The index for food away from home rose 5.2% over the last year. So that accounts for people eating out or for people taking away or picking up food. The limited service meals rose 5.9% over the last 12 months, and the index for full service meals rose 4.5% over the same period. So as you can see, the cost of living is not only influential over the housing costs, but it's also influential over the current food costs as well. Looking at the database that reflects on consumer data, it looks at the Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater area particularly, and it shows food, rent, energy services, and gasoline. And as you can see, this has rose drastically. Some of the highest prices that we were ever facing in this area for these items. It goes all the way up to July 2023, I want to say, and this is outrageous. This is definitely a big problem. This is definitely something that we're facing, particularly here in Florida, that I also wanted to touch on.